This is the AI Question Tracker interface. At the top, you're not chatting. You're asking a question. This text box is not a prompt stream. It's the start of a permanent record. When I type a question here and submit it, that question becomes a first-class object in AI Question Tracker, and you don't have to type. You can use the speech-to-text button right inside the question box. Just speak slowly and clearly. You can also build a longer question in multiple parts. Put your cursor where you want the next sentence to land, tap speech-to-text again, and keep talking. When you submit, that full question is saved as one record. It is assigned a question ID. It receives a timestamp. It can be assigned a category. It can belong to a thread. And it is tied to a specific AI provider. Nothing is inferred later. Nothing is rewritten. Below the question box, you'll see category and thread. Category lets you decide what this question is about, not what the AI thinks it's about, what you say it's about. Categories do not exist until you create them in question history below, which we'll cover next. Once a category is created there, it will appear here so you can deliberately attach future questions to that same category. Thread lets you explicitly continue a line of thinking using the same thread name generated by the AI provider. Threads do not control AI behavior inside the app. They are stored as metadata. Each question is still governed by its own AQT-generated question ID, but it also carries this thread keyword, which can be useful when filtering or locating a specific question later. This is how context stops being fragile, not by assuming continuity, but by recording it explicitly. Next, you choose how the question is answered. You can ask Claude, you can ask OpenAI, or you can ask both. Each response is stored side by side, tied to the same question ID. Read out loud is also enabled so you can listen while multitasking. No merging, no ranking, no silent optimization. You can see exactly what each model said, independently. When the response comes back, it's saved directly into question history. However, you can also read the response only inside the responses section. This is not a summary. This is the verbatim AI output. Each response is labeled by provider. Each response can be read aloud, and each response is permanently attached to the original AQT question ID. The system does not decide which answer is better. It preserves the record so you can decide whenever. This is also where categories are created too. The response to your question or series of questions can determine the category you create in AQT. That's why we restrict category creation to the question history section of the app. Sometimes you already know the category when you ask the first question. Other times the category only becomes clear after you've asked several related questions over time. AQT supports both. Now scroll down. This is the question history section. Users create categories here, inside question history, once they understand how a series of questions tie together. Those categories then become available for attaching to future questions. This becomes especially important on the reports page, which we'll get to next. This is where most AI tools fail, and where AI Question Tracker becomes infrastructure. Every question you've ever asked is here. You can expand any question to see the original question text, the timestamp, the AI provider used, the category, the thread keyword, and the full responses. You're no longer relying on memory. You're no longer relying on screenshots. You're working from an exact, queryable record of what was asked and what the AI actually said. On top of that, you can filter your entire thinking history. You can search by keyword across both questions and responses. You can filter by date range. You can filter by category. You can filter by thread. You can even isolate uncategorized questions. This is not chat history. This is queryable intelligence. Think about a moment where you vaguely remember the question you asked AI and roughly when you asked it. Here, you can filter by that date and find the exact record. No AI interface we tested gives you that level of recall. You can also edit categories per question after the fact as many times as you need, because human thinking evolves, and AI Question Tracker assumes that. Changing a category does not rewrite the question. It updates the metadata and nothing else. Again, no silent inference. So who is AI Question Tracker for? For everyday users, this is a place to think without losing your trail. For professionals, it's a defensible decision log. For teams and reviewers, it's traceability and accountability. Same interface, same rules. No feature sprawl. And this is how it scales safely. AI Question Tracker is model agnostic. It works with OpenAI. It works with Claude. More providers can be added. We tested with Grok and Meta.ai as well. The UI can change, the providers can change, but question IDs do not change. If you can't point to the exact question, you don't actually know what the AI told you. That's the core philosophy. AI Question Tracker doesn't try to think for you. It preserves how you thought, what you asked, and what the AI answered. That's the problem it solves. That's who it's for. And that's how it scales real human thinking, without breaking trust.